Hey guys, it's Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel. I know it has been far too long, but I am back with another video, and today, because it's been so long, I'm actually going to be making two shirts in one video. So we're going to begin right here in design space, and we're going to start on a brand new canvas. So we're going to be making two pretty simple shirts, and they will be text only. First shirt is going to be God is Love. So this customer really likes like faith-based like sayings on her shirts. So she normally just tells me like to just come up with whatever I think. So on this first shirt that I'm going to make, I'm just going to put God is Love. Now if you notice, God is on one line, and I'm going to do love as a separate line because I want love to have a different font. I probably have said this a million times in other videos, but I have purchased some fonts, so the fonts you may see me use probably may not be, one that's like a factory font, but I do get my fonts from designbundles.net, so feel free to check them out. No, they do not sponsor me, but they do have good fonts, and they have like good deals like on all kinds of stuff all the time. So if they don't only have fonts, you can get PNG, SVG files from there. They have like a lot of stuff on there, so feel free to go and check them out. So I am playing with it a little bit to kind of see how I would want it to look like when it's on the shirt. So I like to have an idea before I actually, go ahead and cut it. So I try to make as many adjustments and measurements, beforehand, so that once I cut it, it's going to be as close to what I want as possible. I would hate to have to waste vinyl, so that's why. So I would measure your garment. If you're using a small, you may not want the vinyl to be the same size as if you're putting it on a 2X shirt. So measure the space that you have on your garment, whatever you're putting it on, to make sure that it's going to fill the space that you want it to fill. Sometimes you might want something a little bit smaller, or sometimes you want something big and bold. So measure the space to see, how big you want it to be. So now that I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to start with the text for the next shirt. And this shirt is going to say Made to Worship. I am putting it on the same canvas. That's fine, you can do that. If you leave them the same color, they can cut on the same mat, but if you want them on different color vinyls, you can change the color in design space and it'll put it automatically on a different mat. So here I'm just adjusting the zoom on the sides of the canvas. Doing that will not change the size of your words or your letters. It just makes it easier for you to see it in frame, but the size will stay the same. It may look smaller on the screen, but if you check those measurements at the top, it'll be whatever amount of inches that you chose. So off camera, I ended up changing the colors of the fonts. I changed Made to Worship to white, as you can see here, and God is Love to black, because those are the color vinyls I'm going to use. And that way it just sorts it into, separate mats, so that way I can cut them separately. And so once you have it the way you want it, you're going to select Make It, and then it will take you to the page where it shows you your separate mats. And if you are using iron-on vinyl, you want to remember to mirror your image. Otherwise, it's going to be in reverse. But I forgot to attach it, so that way it can exactly how I have it set up here. So, I mean, you can do it the other way, but then you'll have to cut out your words and then place them how you want them. But if you select the whole thing and put and then click attach, it'll cut on your mat exactly the way you have it here on your canvas, and that just makes it easier. So once again, it's going to sort your mats into two separate mats because they're two separate colors, and make sure to mirror your image if you're using iron-on vinyl. But if you're using just regular vinyl and you're putting this, say, on a mug, on a plate, on whatever, then you don't want to mirror it because you're just going to put it on with transfer tape.
Let's go.
Then just go ahead and hit continue and wait for it to cut. So now I have everything cut and weeded. That's Made to Worship, and this is actually like a flock iron-on vinyl, so it's that leathery like material. It's more like almost like a furry like material, and this is my first time actually using that, and I actually really like it a lot. So I'm starting with this red shirt. I'm actually going to be putting God is Love on this one, and if you have one, I recommend lint rolling your garment before pressing it. This will just remove any lint or dust or anything that might be on there that has the potential to mess up your design. So go ahead and lint roll that before placing the vinyl on it. I think this is probably the hardest part. I'm using my T-square to try to help make sure that this is straight, that everything is even, that I have the placement right where I want it to be. But yeah, that's the trickiest part for me, is getting the image straight, because you do not want to have it crooked. You do not want it to be slanted. I mean, unless you actually want it slanted. Some stuff, you might want slanted, but in this case I do not. So it takes me a while. I have to, adjust it, shift it, move it, take it off, put it back on. But as many times as it takes, make sure that you get it exactly how you want it, because as I always say, once it's on there, it's on there. So I think I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I am going to move on to the next one because I'm still waiting for my press to heat up. So for my second shirt, I have this like olive green shirt, and I'm going to be putting Made to Worship on this one. So I'm going to be using my T-square again. I like to use it because I like to have my design usually an inch or two under my collar, and so that is an automatic help, because I believe the one that I have is like 1.5 inches, that top part of the T, so that gives me the space that I want. But also because it is like like a 90-degree angle, kind of, it helps me to make sure that top line is straight so that I can get it, you know, as straight as I want it to be. So there happened to be like a little piece of lint under the that top sheet, so I just peeled it away, and I think it's finally straight. Yeah, I think it's good enough, so I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and press it. So I have my press at 375 degrees. And according to the instructions, I gotta press it for 10 to 15 seconds. I did not remember initially to look at the instructions for this because, again, this is my first time using this type of vinyl. So yeah, I just had to check to be sure. But if you have your packaging, make sure you check out what the instructions are so that way you don't mess it up. That top cover sheet was a little tough to peel off, but I think it came out pretty good. And like I said, I actually like this flock vinyl. It's really nice and really soft. So now I'm just going to go ahead and press this one. The instructions are the same. This right here is actually glitter. Is this one the glitter vinyl? Sorry, I did multiple shirts on this day, but I'm pretty sure this one is a glitter vinyl. I don't think I mentioned that before, but you'll see it better once I finish pressing it. And if you're going to do this like me, be very careful because I burn myself a lot of the time. So I don't think you can tell as much in the video, but this is the glitter vinyl. Hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better in the picture. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Feel free to leave any questions you have down in the comments below, and tune in next week for the next video.